going to talk about this right here because we already know that here in America under joke Biden, yeah, I call him joke Biden because this quote unquote presidency has been nothing more than a fucking joke. Pardon my French. We are, but let me just set the record straight, cut the BS, and let me bring it to you straightforward. I live here in southern Wisconsin, and right now, gas prices here in southern Wisconsin um, is around $4.29 a gallon from the last time I checked. And and it's going to continue to get worse. Not going to lie. A lot of us knew that since January 20th, 2021, when joke Biden was inaugurated, the presidency would be a complete train wreck. But those who supported joke Biden literally don't give a rat's rear end about it. Now, let's say this. In 2021, in 2021, literally literally at the time when Trump's presidency was coming to an end, you know how much the average gas prices were? It was pretty much around $2.30 something a gallon for regular unleaded. Right now, the last time I checked, right now, gas prices are even much more than that. It's almost, as of this video right here, gas prices are the average gas price is probably like around $5 a gallon. But it gets even worse because over in Washington state, there's been some speculations where gas prices over there could reach up to freaking, how much is it? Freaking $10 a gallon. Yeah, almost damn near $10 a freaking gallon of gas in Washington state. That is beyond out freaking outrageous. Let me just say this, America. We already got a taste of socialism and communism, which, by the way, both of them go hand in hand with each other. Both socialism and communism pretty much have a big connection with each other. Only people who don't know that don't really read the friggin' history books, or probably failed history in school or some crap. Or either they know it, they just play it off and say yeah, whatever. And say, so what? These are the same idiots and retards who literally think that communism is not so bad. If communism wasn't so bad, go to places like Venezuela. It's a freaking shithole, for God's sake. It's so bad over there. I mean, you would have to scramble to buy toilet paper to wipe your you know what with. And then let's go to places. And then you got China, obviously, where you're not allowed to you're not allowed to speak your mind or worship worship God over there, because if you do, next thing you know, they wanna give you a harsh punishment, whether it's hard labor or or getting getting served. I mean, getting served in a joint or getting executed. It's just sad. But I'm gonna also say this right here. Yeah, granted, you know, th- there's supposed to be like a quote unquote gasoline shortage. Yeah, a quote unquote gasoline shortage. But let me also go on the record and say this. If you're a leftist Democrat, a loyal leftist one, I'm sorry to say it, you shouldn't be the one that should be complaining. Because I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth. You voted, you voted for it, and apparently you're letting everyone else, working class individuals like myself who drive to and from work every day being punished. Hell, let's not even go further with the truckers who have to rely on diesel fuel to fill their semi trailers, to fill their semis. And not only do they have to rely on that, yeah, the cost. Let me say this right here. The cost of diesel fuel is even much higher than those who than regular unleaded. I know people who owns a car and it drives on premium, and it runs on premium gasoline, and they're paying the price. I mean, they drive it as an everyday driver, but and they're paying a high price for it. But yes, if you're a liberal leftist Democrat, if you're a joke Biden supporter, number one, you ought to be having. You're probably number one. You're probably already expressing, regret over your choice, and you only did that because you've been ill knowledgeable about voting for someone who had like 50 years of being a complete do nothing career politician. The second factor is that you voted for him, and even if you did, you're going to blindly support him continuously, let alone blindly support the Democrat Party, as if you can't decide to think and have some discernment of who you're going to vote for when it comes to your, trying to change your political status. But I'm literally rambling on right here. And folks, America, let me also say this right here. This right here is hurting the working class big time. You know, there are some people out there that have no choice but to commute to and from work every day. And let me also set the record straight right here, because I would think this right here, this is also supposedly, I would think this is also forcing people to buy an electric vehicle. Let me say this verbatim. The absolute majority of consumers cannot afford an electric vehicle. Number one. Number two, electric vehicles, you know, are literally obsolete. Are literally vehicles that are built for planned obsolescence. You might say that about any and every other vehicle, but to tell the honest to God truth, EVs are built for planned obsolescence. And why is that? Well, if the battery goes out on those things, the vehicle itself is a total loss. Not gonna lie. And then you also got to factor in that most people, especially if you live in, urban areas and whatnot, they do street parking. They don't, in other words, you ain't going to be able to charge people like people ain't going to be able to charge their vehicles like that. And especially, and then you also got to factor in those who live in a rural community. There isn't much there is no charging stations out there. So all in all, it's hurting the consumers. And let me also say this. With this rapid inflation going on, I'm sorry to say it, the value of the American dollar is dead. Yeah, you've heard it from me. The value of the American dollar is dead. Of course, Biden and the Democrats want to think that this whole idea of mass inflation and extremely outrageous gas prices are being the factor. He's trying to avoid blame, you know, and he's putting blame on everybody else but himself, from the war and, the from the conflict between Russia and the Ukraine. That's number one. And number two, you know, obviously blaming it on Trump when Trump is not even president anymore. And especially since when Biden first came in office, he immediately nixed the Keystone Pipeline XL thing, which that in itself was the initial cause of why gas prices were skyrocketing. Yeah, here in Wisconsin, I was paying like $1.79, $1.89 for a gallon of gas, and now I'm paying right now I'm paying like goddamn $4.29 a gallon. I'm gonna tell you this. Remember this, America. The midterms are 5.5 months away. Remember, if you want to save your country, change politics. Vote these leftist retards out, because because China Biden and the Democrats are responsible for this nonsense, this inflation nonsense, and the cost of everything else skyrocketing. And it's hurting the middle. It's hurting not only the poor, but it's also hurting the middle class. People who go to work every single day, people who get essential things every single day. And like I said earlier, if you're a Democrat, if you're a loyal Democrat, and you're still gonna vote, you're still gonna vote liberal, regardless. You're on this vote blue no matter who nonsense. You, my friends, have no absolute right to complain. Straight the hell up. You can spare me with your bleeding heart garbage. I am Chuck Johnson, a.k.a. Kid Thunder. You guys have a wonderful day.